Hello. We are back. We're here. We're running. We're chilling. We're going all over the place, but we're not going to be doing anything loudly because it's a very late hour of the night for all the British folks out there. But with her, we've already got the advantage. We got the energy. We got the excitement. We're chilling. But for me and Squeefy, we expect to hear a lot of yawning throughout this interview. It's going to be a very interesting one, but it's not just interesting for that. It's the main event. It's Wither, it's Squeefy, it is the All Stories Completionist title bout face-off. How are you both doing today, my friends? How are you feeling, Wither?
I'm feeling pretty good. Couple hours into my workday, couple bottles of Smirnoff down. It's been pretty good. Pretty excited for the race where I'm going to easily just slide my way into another quick first place. Nothing too new for me. How are you feeling, Squeefy?
But I've just been attacked. What the hell? Just slid that in there. Okay, then. I'm too tired for this. Hang on a second.
As I was going to say, Squeefy's going to have to muster up everything he's got. He's on the defensive already. How are you feeling? Squeef?
I mean...
Whatever that noise was. That's a good start.
I'm too tired for this. Hold on. No, I don't know. I'm going to do what I can, I guess. I don't know.
How's your day been?
My day hasn't ended yet. It's still going. That's the problem. I'm still here. What? My day started 24 hours ago, and I'm still here. Why?
Why are you still here?
Let me sleep.
Sounds like we better get on with the interview, I think.
My day's been alright. It's been alright. It's just,
I'm noticing we've got a collection of hats on display. We got Squeefy with the Sonic with the... Well, what kind of hat is that? I've always meant to ask. It's like a little
It's supposed to be a wizard's hat.
Yeah, it's like a wizard's hat.
Yeah.
I'm the only one not wearing a hat, actually. I feel left out. But we got Strawberry. Censored Strawberry. Chilling on top of his head. Looking pretty good. But yeah, no. Glad to hear both doing well. We're here, This is what this whole event is I wouldn't say what it's all for, but this is the main draw, getting you two facing off against each other in this circumstance, all stories. Nice little opportunity to give it some spotlight. Obviously, not going to be the first all stories race that we've had on CESA between, well, technically us three, but more specifically in this case you two. We've seen you run it on Christmas of all days. Good old time.
No missiles though.
Yeah.
But this time around, it's determined to be a little bit more competitive. So let's start with that. Let's start with what the mindset is going into this. How are you sort of feeling? I know whether you came in with confidence from the off there, but you're going up against a tough competitor. What are you thinking?
Oh yeah, I'm scared. I've been playing recently, and I've not been playing well. I got a new Amy PB, but I got a new Amy PB by technicality more than anything else. I had a horrible hot shelter. I had a meltdown in Twinkle Park. I had third door. And my movement in final leg wasn't good. My jungle was solid. I didn't get zero strat either. Everything I could have messed up, I messed up. Saving grace is the first Amy run on the board with a cutscene skip. That's the only difference maker. So I don't know. I've been kind of not playing the game too much recently. I've been feeling a little bit of burnout. And I've been trying to practice Sonic and some All Stories, but I'm not going to lie, burnout's been setting in, and it's been making playing the game really, really hard. But, I mean, my 20%, probably still good enough to take on Squeefy's 100. So, probably fine.
Squeefy, you still with us?
I think so.
How are you feeling coming in? What do you reckon? You've been on the receiving end of some harsh words already. What do you have to say?
Don't worry, I've got the ultimate plan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, right. Okay, basically, I'm gonna like disconnect the internet. I'm like, nah, I'm good.
No.
Internet cuts out for like 4 or 5 hours. It's unfortunate.
Oh no. But no, I don't feel like this is like other than the emulator run we did on the Christmas thing. This is like my second All Stories run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, basically, my plan is to not. I'm refusing to do an All Stories run until the day, and I'm just gonna like PP there. Like, okay, cool.
I mean,
That's the
yeah,
plan.
sure.
You'll have something to walk away with at least. That's
Yep.
you know, you
Like,
are coming
okay.
in as the underdog. That much is obviously clear. I think.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how much time.
Actually don't agree, honestly.
Really?
Okay.
With I would say, you know, no jabs, like all the jabs and everything aside, I think that me and SQeefy, as far as all stories go, are within equal footing. I think I have the advantage in Sonic. I think I have the advantage in Tails. But I think that we're pretty even and both prone to make mistakes in every other category. And I've proven to myself recently I can have a cataclysmic Sonic. It can just happen. So I mean, like, I could come away with either breaking a couple new world records within this All Stories, setting a new All Stories world record, getting Sonic back, getting Tails back, maybe even getting Knuckles back, etc. within this All Stories if I play extremely well. Or I could walk away losing All Stories, the world record to SQeefy. That's something I absolutely think could happen in the race. I'd like SQeefy doesn't do all stories very often, but SQeefy does 130. You've got a ton of experience in the other long form category. You know what to do. So it's not like it's out of the realm of possibility, especially because you're the only other person with the knowledge of cutscene skips in every category.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that I've got the endurance advantage. But
That's
long
actually
stuff, I feel
something-
like you've just got the skill advantage from like more of the short runs.
Endurance
So-
issue, skill issue.
You know,
Which one is going to
Yeah.
come through? But no, actually, it's interesting you say that, Squeefy, because when I was speaking to Nim and Hib yesterday, actually, in that interview, that was one of the things they brought up, that, and also something that Withers just mentioned there, that 130 experience, obviously, it's got its differences from a traditional All Stories run, but, you know, how much for you do you feel you're going to be able to carry what you've been doing in that category into this race? You know, how much does the general kind of know-how of the gameplay into it, how much does it all kind of add up and stack up to give you a little bit of a foot to stand on?
it helps with like stages and hubs and stuff, but cutscene skips are basically like I don't do them for 130. So I've had to like mass remember them all, like relearn them all for this,
Damn.
because we don't do them for 130.
Oh,
Really?
we say we.
So it's like
You just
Yeah.
you just wait till I'm
Yeah.
bored.
bored. You can bring it. You can bring it.
Wait.
I'll take you.
Wait
It's my
till
category, you're having it.
wait till I've got the time. I'll start
Got the
I'll start
time.
doing stuff in 130. But I mean, it's a long category.
Yeah, it is.
Well, let's bring it back a little bit to this category in particular, and maybe actually just sort of Dreamcast as a whole. So, obviously, with I think it's fair to say that you've kind of developed into sort of the face of Dreamcast in the past couple of months, right? Like, people think of Dreamcast, people think of Wither, they think of vice versa, you know, they think of the other. So, for you, kind of, why don't you give a little bit of a brief history of Wither plus Dreamcast? How's that story come to be?
So it's actually kind of funny how short the story is. I grew up with a Dreamcast, but I didn't grow up with the Dreamcast version of Adventure. I grew up with Sadix on GameCube, and I think Sadix was either my first or second Sonic game, the other one being the Mega Collection. So I've been playing Sadix for the longest time, like ever since I'd say 2006, 2005. I've done a yearly playthrough of all stories in Sadix just once a year. So that's kind of why I've got so much familiarity with the game going into it. But I didn't even really start watching speedruns of the game until like 2016, 2017, and even then super infrequently. 2020 happened. I had been learning some other speed games. I dropped out of some other speed games. I'd been speedrunning since like late 2018, mid 2019. And I decided around 2021-ish that I was going to try and pick up Sadix. I started doing Sadix on my own offline, and something about the game just wasn't clicking. And that's whenever I had bought a new Dreamcast. Like I had around the time just picked one up from a local store and picked up a copy of Adventure, and that's when I had actually played the game for the first time. So 2021 did my first playthrough of Sonic Adventure on the Dreamcast, and something just clicked, and I'm like, wow, this game feels so good. It feels so different compared to Sadix. And then, come into the beginning-ish, like I would say, like I think around February, March 2022, I started doing Dreamcast runs of Sonic Adventure with no real ambition to start anything. I didn't expect to do what I've done per se. My goal was never to like try and hunt down world records. My goal was never to like try and make a name for myself in the community by just playing this version of the game. I was just curious to see what it was like, and then it just all spiraled out of control from there.
There you go. Yeah, no. So 2021 was the first. Seriously, so wow, that's that is a surprisingly short amount of time considering.
Okay, this is kind of a lie. I was saying, like 2018, I played through Sonic Adventure on Flycast on my phone in science class in high school.
There you go. You're a big old liar then. There you go.
But like I was so inexperienced with the game at the time, and like I barely remember anything from that playthrough because I played it on a touch screen in a science lab. I don't even think I got to Casino. Like that hardly counts.
Yeah. No, but well, no, that is, if anything, that's impressive. And yeah, the other thing is, I think it probably, we'll touch more on it later, but just kind of the way that Dreamcast has kind of come on leaps and bounds because of, in a large part, your kind of push and development of it. Like, it sort of sends a pretty nice message to all the other kind of like smaller niche communities or subsectors of other categories of any speed game out there, really, where it's kind of, it's nice because, it's obviously not just one person. It is, as like the man to the right.
It's that
well,
guy.
thank you. That's very flattering, but I don't think I've contributed that.
I like cutscene skipping would not exist without SQeefy.
Well, there you go. And I was
I made sure to bring that up.
Absolutely, yeah. But it really is encouraging when like you can get this sort of relatively dormant sort of state of a game or a sector of a game or what was generally considered just another version of a game and have it basically be revolutionized because of people like yourself and SQeefy, who, as I was going to mention, that has a bit more sort of history among the community of Sonic Adventure as a whole, right? Like you've kind of, obviously you've been around as a runner, but also a little bit of a scientist, if I'm not wrong, right?
I mean, I've got way too much time on my hands, so why not?
So when it comes to your history with kind of, we'll start with regular Adventure, but then kind of how you dipped into Dreamcast as well.
Okay, this is like about short stories you can get. I was bored.
Adventure, DX, I mean.
Yeah. Short story, I was bored. That's literally it. Okay, right. Before I started running, I did not watch speedruns. I'd never I'd seen a couple, right? But like I just didn't watch them.
+2.
And randomly, right? And so like one day I'm like, I'm doing literally nothing with my life right now. I'm so bored. I like Sonic Adventure. Speedrunning the thing. Why not? There we go. Like I had no plans going. I'm just like, yeah, sure, I'll do it for fun. And then yeah. And then all of a sudden it's just like, okay, cool. That's about as far as my speedrunning history gets.
But you were around Sadix. I know you're the guy who found Whale Skip, right? Am I right in saying that?
Yeah, well, me and Nick saw.
Ah.
Yeah, because it was
decent claim to fame.
It was like I sort of proved it worked, but he found like the actual setup and everything to get it working more for runs and stuff.
And then when it comes over to Dreamcast, like obviously things been developing there quite recently, as Wither said, large in part thanks to a lot of the things that you've figured out and discovered. But how come that has come along? Because you're pretty much for me personally, obviously, as sort of like pretty outside the Dreamcast community, I knew you as kind of another runner, really. Obviously no disrespect there whatsoever, but wow. What I'm also mean to say is, you were, you were just kind of about in the science community. You had that whale skip, but then I gloss over to Dreamcast, and you're going ham. You're going crazy, and like there's all these crazy things coming out, cutscene skip thing. So like, how did you come about as this sort of descendant from the heavens of knowledge into the Dreamcast community? How did this happen?
I mean, like the first cutscene skip was found by accident, right? And then basically after that, it's like Dreamcast had like no one had done science stuff for Dreamcast. You had like a couple things that someone would be like, okay, we can do that. Most of the time it was like, this works in DX, will it work in Dreamcast? But then there's so much stuff in Dreamcast that just makes no sense for DX, but in Dreamcast it's amazing. You know, like half these cutscene skips for DX. Like, why would you do a cutscene skip in DX? There's like no point to it. You know, but like in Dreamcast, it's like, you know, it's kind of an awesome thing. And then, you know, we like found all the code breaker codes and stuff for debug mode, basically. And then like finding more stuff of that was just, I don't know. So it's like, I don't know. For me, it's like trying to give back to the community was always like a big thing. So I'm kind of glad I've done that. So
yeah,
I'm happy with
absolutely, 100%. I feel like, well, like we said, Dreamcast is kind of becoming more and more of what it is, in large part thanks to what you've done. Yeah, I think looking at complete IGT soon. Is that right? Kind of in the work in progress.
It's a weird thing. Load zones, difficulty getting it implemented with everyone. It's it requires too much, so it's weird.
While it's been solved, it's like it's something we could do, but doing so would basically mean that new runners would have an extra hurdle. And for the sake of accessibility, IGT is just kind of off the table for now.
But you know, the fact that that's even become a conversation at any point is ridiculous for well, not in the best way for you know, something like Dreamcast to even come that far. You know, it's something bizarrely incredible. So, I mean, if nothing else, absolutely fair play to both of you and the others too for all their hard work. But let's bring it back. Let's get that competitive drive a little bit more on the table. We're all being too nice to each other here. Let's talk about the race. Let's talk about
destroyed.
Let's talk about how we're going up against each other. You've both taken part in tournaments before. You've both taken part in races, and you know, generally going into them, I'd like to hear a little bit. Kind of, what's your angle really? Because with I know you've got the SST under your belt. Did you take part in CAG as well? I can't remember.
I played in CAG, but I didn't practice for it. I ended up just commentating almost the whole thing.
Oh yeah,
but yeah, no, I played in CAG.
So when it comes to sort of your mentality going in, preparation, practice, how you're feeling on the day, like what's it like for you going into any kind of race? Is there nerves there? Is there confidence? What do we think?
So it really depends on what it is, because I've done a lot of competitive gaming before. You could say I've been in a lot of tournaments for a lot of different games. Speedrunning tournaments are kind of a whole different thing, especially for how long this game is. The All Stories race, the Christmas race, no one gave a shit, right?
I gave a shit. I care.
No, you didn't. You lost on emulator. Come on, man.
I cared a lot. I didn't even know what a big story was. I'd never touched a supersonic.
But that's what I'm saying. No one cared about the Christmas race. It's all for fun. It's all just kind of like, you know, vibes, having fun, given an excuse to spend 5 hours with the Sacer family. This is war. This matters. So there's never been a competitive like All Stories race in this game's history, partially due to how long the category is, and that's scary. Whenever it comes to bracket endurance, I'm notorious for petering out near the end. I've had multiple instances where I've been very close to being ranked in my local scene for a few different fighting games, or like being on the ladder, but never quite able to make it past the HM spot just because of bracket fatigue, because stuff goes on for 5-6 hours. This is a 5-hour long category. And if you look at the world record for All Stories, you can tell I always, no matter what, have an explosion in Amy or Gamma, because being asked 4 hours and 30 minutes deep into a run to do Gamma Hot Shelter you should be put on trial for making someone do that. But yeah, I'm very prone to fatigue, so I'm nervous, especially because I haven't been at my complete A game recently. I'm very nervous that SQeefy could undercut me just by having more endurance for this kind of thing. Hell, you pulled off 130 on Sacer. Like that's a testament to your endurance, man. That's scary. So what I might want to do is I might just want to try and play fast. I might want to play loud. I've been practicing and trying to grind all my consistent fast strats. I'm probably just going to play pedal to the metal the entire time.
It's interesting because like it's been described again when I spoke to Hib and Nim yesterday. The sort of idea of a marathon runner versus a sprinter kind of came up when it came to the whole endurance thing. But that's kind of what this category is, really, right? It is definitely going to be more of a marathon. You know, the length that we're sort of here for, the kind of sum of the parts kind of style. So yeah, it'll definitely be interesting. And then SQeefy, over to you. When it comes to sort of your attitude towards races generally, and I guess sort of how different this one is going to be as opposed to anything in sort of like Sonic Story Tournament, what's it kind of like for you?
I mean, I guess it just depends. Like, I'll put in a bit of practice before, but then like I try not to do too much because like we've lost. Okay,
We got double SQeefy.
I'm taking over. It's my race now. But yeah, what was I saying? Shit. I lost my train of thought now.
Okay, don't be distracted by the disappearance of the Wither.
But yeah, like I don't know, it just kind of depends. Like most of the time, like I put in a bit of practice, you know, like I want to do decent, but I'm also not like aiming to be like the best ever. You know, it's like as long as I put in a good show, decent race, I'm okay with that. Yay, he's back.
Absolutely. Hey, there you go.
There he is.
Oh,
But
oh no,
there you go.
it's a nightmare.
yeah,
So,
keep mind at work. Sorry.
It doesn't sound like you're feeling too much of the pressure, so that's kind of good to hear. It
I
sounds
mean,
like you're coming in.
Oh, you're not scared? You're not pressured, huh? You really?
Yeah, but it's only. The thing is, it's only 5 hours though. That's the thing.
Oh shit!
It's only 5 hours. This is like half of what I usually do.
That is such a statement to hear.
It's only 5 hours. All right, buddy. I'll do it in 4.
Damn. That's what you think I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it in 8.
That'll
Let's
be
go.
like such an interesting thing if someone finishes like an. Let's just run the 130, shall we?
I'm not ready.
I am.
No,
Right now. Let's go. Stop screaming. I'm gonna go.
I can't do Chow still. I haven't learned Chow.
Squeefy switched up real quick from I've been awake for 24 hours, let me sleep to yeah, let's run 130 right now.
You could DM me on Discord and be like, you doing 130? I'm like, yep, I'm up.
Well, that's interesting, you know. But yeah, talk to me a little bit. We kind of touched on it already a little bit with maybe with the differences, but specifically when it comes to sort of the strengths, maybe sort of in particular stories, in sort of particular parts of stories, or just kind of how you play as a whole. SQeefy, for you, what are kind of the things that are going to give you an edge in this race?
I mean, I'm kind of hoping that because I do like when I do practice, if I do like IO times 20s, because it's like you can't really do like like imagine trying to actually practice a full 130. It's like I love 130s, but you know, I can't do a full run just for practice. So like for me, I do like random IO 20 times 20s, you know, maybe some like half movement practice. So it's like hopefully that helps because like I'm kind of going with like safer strats, but doing them fast. You know, except for Casino, because why would I do Dreamcast when I'm just doing DX Casino for some reason? I see you shaking your head.
Fucking idiots. You and Refrag, you fucking idiots.
Oh, I refuse. I'm dying on this hill. I refuse.
Yeah, you are dying on the hill, and you're taking the run with you.
I think you're dying on the kill plane, actually. If I'm not wrong.
Well, I mean, you take the kill plane up the hill.
Well, yeah, no.
Yeah,
so,
no.
go on.
Yeah, I think like consistency practice hopefully will help. I hope.
And then for you, Wither, what are kind of the things that are going to play into your hand? What are going to be the strengths that you've got over SQeefy?
Individually, I think. Oh, individually, I am better at Sonic. That's just kind of flat out true. I am better at Tails. I am comparable at Knuckles. I recently got a 30 in Knuckles, but it's offline, and I don't know where my VOD is. So one day I'll upload that. But I have a 30 in Knuckles now. I'm not trying to go for a 29. I want to beat Nim. I am the best at aiming. My aiming consistency, even like again, like recently I'd had a very bad run and still got a world record, right? Like my aiming consistency is some of the best on Dreamcast, to the point to where, you know, you throw spacebar at the controller, and in person he said I couldn't beat you if I practiced. So got a little bit of an ego boost from that for sure. But but
I mean, hey, Space is going to be watching. He's 2-0 so far, you know, and you know, maybe get him on the Dreamcast, see if he fancies it. We'll see.
I honestly feel like I'm gonna lose a lot of time in big, like for all of these. Like I did a big story run recently, and I got like a 2140, and I don't even know where I lost time. But I think that in almost every individual story, I come out on top. I've practiced all stories, and I'm able to do all stories. And all stories I would consider my main category, but I don't know. A lot of my strength comes from having a better peak. As far as consistency, like I've definitely got the consistency in Sonic and Amy, but so with how consistent SQeefy is with the entire game, I could definitely see me losing out in some of the stories I'm not as practiced up on.
Mm-hmm. So it's going to be a matter of peak versus consistency, is what we're thinking. Okay. I'm liking Strawberry just nodding along, looking pretty good. How secure is I suppose Strawberry is a she? Not secure at all. Just chilling.
Nope.
Just plopped
Just
on.
chilling.
Well, there you go. But yeah. Now let's talk about the statistics. You know, the numbers game. If I had to say to you, okay, what's like the minimum time you can walk away feeling satisfied with here? And you know, what time do you need to beat SQeefy? What time is that going to be?
Time I need to beat SQeefy, sub 5.
Sub 5?
That's mean. Probably sub 450.
You'd be satisfied with that?
I would not be satisfied with it, but I think I needed to win.
Mm-hmm. What time are you walking away with a smile on your face with?
Sub 430.
Oh, damn. And SQeefy, same question to you. What are you coming away happy with?
I mean, I'd like to at least get a 440, just to put me in second place on the boards. You know, so we've got like two current runners.
Yeah,
we got. Is it
Iden?
Yeah,
I thought it was Iden, yeah. Mm-hmm. So like, you know, I'd like to get a 440, so there's like 2 recent runs on the board for like first and second. So that would be nice.
Yeah, definitely. No, definitely.
A whole 10-minute PB, huh? Actually, 12-minute.
I mean, fair again. You know, I haven't done an also race run in a while, so
it's true. I believe.
You know,
it happened.
And you know,
a double PB.
You know, I'm also saying I want a 4-minute world record. So
yeah, why not? Aim high. Why not?
It's possible. There's so much optimization left on the table, man. I'm pretty sure that like, what did I get in my All Stories world record? Like a 108 Sonic or something like that. Yeah, I got like a mid 108 Sonic, which, I mean, when I got that in All Stories, I'm pretty sure that was Sonic world record. But like, I get a 108 Sonic today, and I'm like considering going out back by the barn. Like the bar has changed so much.
Anyway, so
the bar has moved a lot in every category, so I would not be surprised to see All Stories start to get racketeered down.
It would be great to see, yeah. You know, this could be the catalyst, you know. And speaking of that, let's talk about what's up for grabs here. You know, we've got it. It's the silverware, the big cheese, the large cheddar, the huge dairy product. The All Stories title, well, the Completionist title bout, which was coined by yourself, Wither, as the idea to sort of have these two categories. You two are kind of
Four.
obviously, what, CX or am I?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Put them under like that umbrella. So yeah, those categories fitting under this neat little Dreamcast spotlight belt. When it comes down to it, obviously I know you two are kind of the main names on the scene. I would probably sort of say like, you know, in terms of how much this means to you as part of this race, probably, you know, I can imagine it being a nice bonus. But in terms of maybe looking at it bringing more competition perhaps towards this direction, people wanting to come and challenge you, you know, how much does that mean in terms of getting new faces on the Dreamcast scene, hopefully?
So the funny thing is, just by even mentioning the title bout and mentioning how this is, it's already started to turn heads. Yesterday, I was doing some Sonic story practice. Horrible stream. Don't watch the VOD. 4 hours of not reaching casino.
You got a link to it.
Yeah, sure do. But in that time, a few new faces showed up from a random raid, and just by finding the Sonic Adventure category. And I mentioned the rival battle, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, is there like an entrance for this for the next one?" Is the questions that people were saying, and I'm like, "No, it's a challenge thing." But if you've got any interest, there's, you know, the SRC page, the tutorials, all the stuff, and if you want to compete, the competition's out there. So I think just having something like this, having a title belt, having like, you know, like a title on the line, it stirs the pot. It's a fun way to stir the pot. That's a lot less provocative than some other ways.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's that fun little level of competition that doesn't require like a whole tournament. It doesn't require one person being sort of like about, you know, one winner and what 12, 15, 16 losers. You know, it's like a 1v1. Here's your opponent. Generally, try and make it all even matches where we can. And so that's kind of the fun side of it. You know, it's always going to be a pretty good match rather than, you know, a lot of matches, maybe not necessarily all ones to watch, if you know what I mean. And the cool thing as well is that it's not just sort of, you know, in quotes, top level runners. You know, you look over at yeah, obviously in that scene they are pretty high up, but you've got three fresh faces in the Supersonic race. Well, I say three fresh faces, more so like two fresh faces and Black Doom. So yeah, you know, it's definitely like a place where it's not just the best of the best of the best. Like, it's the best matchups. You know, so if like two new runners popped onto the scene and started running Dreamcast big, you know, that would be the match to watch. You know, it's like, hey, let's see which of these two guys is about it. You know, and that's what makes it fun. That's what makes all these such a blast to take part in and organize and watch.
And I just gotta say, like, a quick shout out. Shout outs seriously to the random, weird, ragtag group of freaks out there that all decided they were just gonna start running Dreamcast Supersonic on emulator. I don't know how this started, but I used to think that the Knuckles board was like the secret king, because you would go to the Knuckles board and you would show the obsolete runs, and you would see that the board would just like triple in size. But like, that's over the course of several months, and it's like, that's a lot of runs still to have on a board. But you go to Supersonic emulator and you show the obsolete runs. This is a board that's only been active for 30 days, and there's over like 15 runs on the board. Like, what the hell happened?
I blame Sly personally.
Sly, Underground, and Anthony have all just been grinding Supersonic on emulator for some reason.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is, when Underground started, right? Like, I'm just gonna single them out right now. When Underground started, they were not good. Their Supersonic time was very mid, but they're already approaching refrag. Like, they are seconds at the, like, they're like 10 seconds, 20 seconds off of refrag's time, and that's with refrag getting an extra 5 seconds from loads. We could we could see a main board refrag overthrow pretty soon.
There you go. Yeah.
And that is crazy. I'm immensely proud of that weird little pocket community that showed up.
It's the ultimate
That's what I love to see.
category. You know, that's
Absolutely.
That's what I would describe it as. Definitely something fun. But yeah, no, it's been great to see, if not bizarre. But yeah, let's ask you the same question then, Squeefy. When it comes to title being on the line, when it comes to sort of stirring up competition, what's it like for you? You looking forward to maybe, think about this DREAMCAST champion, Squeefy? Does that sound pretty appetizing? Appealing? Does that sound tasty?
Appetizing.
I mean, can I eat it? Sure. I'm gonna try. Oh,
You can't. It's like an NFT, it's not actually real.
it's not after. Oh, it.
But yeah, how much is that kind of like coming into it for you in terms of a nice little thing to play for?
I mean, I'm gonna I don't know. I'm gonna try my best, But for me, more than anything, I just want to show the game off.
Mhm.
I want people to see it. This game is awesome, and
Absolutely.
even before I started running Dreamcast, even I could tell this was a different game.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And now actually we're seeing it, and we get to show it off with this event. I'm like, yeah, get more people in. Hopefully people that are smarter than me. That'd be kind of cool. I'm a dumbass who just kind of smashes his head against the wall for a little bit.
Well, you smash your head real good, my friend. I can tell you that. Okay?
That's true.
You smash your head in some very impressive ways. But, let's talk a little bit about this event, just a little bit wider spread. I know we have one match which has already happened, technically, as of this interview. We won't spoil any results. I believe you both called that match, if I'm not wrong. So
Yeah.
I guess...
It was me and Sly.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course, you were on commentary, weren't you?
Yeah. I was way too tired to commentate.
But, without spoiling anything, I guess we can hear your thoughts on that match. Like, what do you think of it as a whole? We won't give away the winner or results or anything like that, but entertaining?
Must-watch Sacer event.
Yeah, it's
Oh
really
my
good.
god.
Actually nuts.
That race was... I don't have a word.
There's so many moments that you could talk about, but technically we can't. But
I will say that it's a match that, despite the nothing that happens in Supersonic Story, you really need to watch and listen to. It is definitely an audio-visual experience.
It really is just I wonder if it's sort of like if it's almost like a Stockholm syndrome kind of thing, it's kind of like you've been stuck here for so long, the moment that something finally happens, it's like, yes, I love this category.
Wait, the gameplay? We're playing the game?
I will say, minor spoiler of sorts, if you have been curious about what chaos tastes like, this is a must-watch.
It's less of a... Well, actually, yeah, it is taste, but also texture, I believe is what you...
Oh, yeah, no, both of which have been called into question.
It's definitely, yeah, watch it with sound on. If you dare.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I guess Squeefy will ask, what do you think, as a tuck-it-out viewer in the chat, watching all those funky things happening? What do you think about what chaos tastes like?
I don't know. The colour blue, I'm gonna guess. I don't know what colour blue tastes like, but there you go.
Like a blue raspberry, or is it kind of more like a tonic water kind of thing, I always got kind of like...
It's like Pedialyte blue.
No, actually, no, mouthwash.
Oh, yeah, no, that's true. We had mentioned Irish Spring soap.
Oh, wait, hold on, it's not a spoiler?
No.
No, kill yourself.
Well, now we know who wins. Yeah, but that's not the only match on the card. Obviously, we've got the other one which hasn't happened yet. Hib versus Nem, and yeah, that's gonna be fun. I know you've been going in a little harsh on my man Hypnotics, where you haven't exactly been chalking up his chances too well, but you know
He learned the past cutscene skip. It's anyone's game.
There we go. You know.
That's all he needed. But that's the thing, right? Like that's one of the both coolest things about Dreamcast as a speed game and one of the most difficult things to deal with in a race. There are literal knowledge checks. There are things that you have to pass. And if you don't pass them, you just lose because you just won't you're just going to miss out on too much. And that's why I was kind of like wishy-washy on Hib for a bit because I'm like, if you don't do the past cutscene skip, like that doesn't matter what sets you get with Knuckles. That's just like an insta lose because Nim is consistent with all of the cutscene skips, and that in of itself is more time than you could possibly save by any bad set with decent execution. Like that's it. Like that's just the run. But with Hib catching up to speed, basically at this point, and Hib's got good execution. We've seen it before. Now it really does come down to more of a traditional Knuckles race. Like who gets luckier and who has the better execution, and also now that everyone's on the same equal playing field, who hits the cutscene skips the most optimally? Because you can lose several seconds from each one. So. Absolutely. And honestly, things have gotten even more interesting because as of, I don't know, at this point, like 6 hours ago, SQeefy found a new way to...
I found it. Yeah, Broby found it.
Broby found a new way to do the cutscene skip for the Knuckles fight, but SQeefy found it works for every character.
Yeah, including Big, which is my favorite part. For some reason, we have a clip for Big. It's completely useless, but we have it. I was
going to say, what are you going to use that for?
Nothing. It does nothing. It's useless, but you can.
Just throw it onto the pile of big tech that does nothing. The pile is getting really big.
Yep.
Well, there you go. You know, it's an even game all of a sudden. You know, they've. It is still an underdog story, I would say, but
I don't know. Okay. So here's another thing I'll say too. Now that we've got more time to talk speculation, you know, armchair analyses. Nim is really good at playing statics. Nim plays statics in DC. The way that Nim takes his lines, you can tell he's more familiar with another controller. There's a lot of weird wiggling whenever Nim moves from place to place, and a lot of that comes from familiarity and being like so consistent and so high placed in statics, and that kind of hurts you in DC. You're prone to a lot of small mistakes by doing stuff that would work in statics by being committed to that muscle memory, and that's something that Hib doesn't have to deal with. Hib's movement is a lot straighter lines, even if some of them aren't as optimal because he doesn't have as much experience. He has more experience playing on the platform. He has more experience properly running Dreamcast. And I think it really shows in his gameplay. So
that's very true, actually. When it comes to go on.
Yeah, now let me finish real quick. But your thought is very important. But Nim may be a technically stronger runner with better times in multiple games, but Hib is first and foremost a Dreamcast Knuckles runner, and I think that will matter in a race setting.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you mentioned there, what's interesting is that even with the same controller, like I was playing SA1 on emulator earlier with my usual controller, which I go to, and even then, it's still like a completely different feeling game than what you pick up with SATX, especially with like the version that we tend to play on, which is so fluid and snappy, and I can't think of many other words to describe it right now, but you know what I mean. Compared to Dreamcast, it's very, I don't know how I would describe it. It's not heavy, but things feel a bit more, I don't know what the word is with Dreamcast.
DC is heavier.
Yeah,
I agree. That's the word that I use. Dreamcast is a heavier feeling game. A lot of stuff is tied to frame rate, and because of that, a lot of stuff is a little bit slower. Not only that, we definitely have less hover frames, so we objectively don't jump as high, and that it changes the game a lot. Dreamcast just inherently feels a lot heavier, which is part of why I gravitate to it so much, I think. But yeah, that's a very apt way to describe it.
Yeah. And then SQeefy, for you, any predictions or views on Nim versus Hib? What are we thinking on that one?
I mean,
It was gone.
I'm scared. We've scared him off. Finally, he's gone.
Expect a knock at the door.
But like, I don't know. Like, I feel Nim has the advantage. I feel like, but at the same time, I don't know. Hib, like, it's like what we've said. Hib has done more. I feel like Hib has like the more Dreamcast focused experience, while Nim's more a bit spread out between Dreamcast and DX.
Mm-hmm.
But I also feel Nim has more experience, like running in general. Because I think Nim started running before Hib.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I think
I'm pretty
Nim, funnily enough, another case of Nim like being a runner who kind of somewhat inspired his opponent. So that's 2 in a row for Nim. So.
But yeah, and so like I feel like Nim has the more general experience, but then Hib's got more focused Dreamcast experience. So I don't know. It's like if it was like before Hib learned the past cutscene skip, I would be like, yeah, Nim's probably gonna take this one. But Hib learnt it. And like the thing is that cutscene skip saves anywhere from like 15 to 20 seconds. So it's like that's a big time loss if you don't get it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I don't know. It's gonna be interesting.
Well, I guess we will see. I guess we will see with that one. But speaking of things, I guess we will see. This is a question that I like to ask everybody who hops on here at least once. So we got rival battles. You know, we got this funky little Dreamcast show. We obviously got the other main events. Well, main event, you know what I mean. The main sort of rival battle series that we have. If I had to say to each of you that you can pick a dream matchup for, it could be for yourself, it could be for someone else, it could be anything, any category, any game, any runners. What is your dream rival battles matchup? I can see you pulling up the SRC board in your glass.
No, this is actually just Discord.
I see.
Oh man!
Wow.
Thought I caught him in the act.
No,
But,
there's a few that come to mind for me.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as like, I think there's the narrowing down the one is very difficult. But I think that I'm such a big fan of the completionist categories. You know, I'm such a big fan of 130, such a big fan of All Stories.
Mention 130.
But the honestly, like, dream matchup for me would probably be something. Oh man, I actually am going to pull up SRC real quick just to verify something.
Should we throw out SQeefy quickly?
Oh yeah, no, this is good. Okay, good. Yeah,
Okay.
I want to see Nixer Alpha All Stories.
On Dreamcast?
Actually,
No, just on DX.
On the, I was about to say, well, no, that would definitely be a good one, yeah. No, because, like, obviously, like, Nixer has his, his rivals across categories, Refrag, KT up in Sonic Story, over there in some other stories, that there are people who really give him a run for his money, but, like, I think across the board, probably the closest runner to him in terms of overall skill across the categories. You could say Drag, perhaps, as well, maybe, I think is a shout there, but Alpha, in terms of, like, general rounded skill at the game, at least in terms of the individual categories, probably, the main categories at least, probably is him. So yeah, an all-stories race between those two would go very, very hard. I would like to see that.
I also would really like to see Space VKD in All Stories.
In All Stories also? An interesting
They
one.
They are really close on the board, and those two are so comparable in skill in opposite categories. That's such an interesting matchup.
Yeah, actually, now that you mention it, that's because like Katie's got what I can think. Katie's got Sonic. Katie's got Gamma. I want to say.
Yeah, Katie's got Gamma. Katie's got Sonic. Katie's got Big. Like, I don't know. No,
but then
like
you think of Space,
yeah,
and you've got Knuckles, you've got Amy, you've got
Tails.
Tails as well. To a lesser extent, but still the better of the two.
Whoa.
I mean,
Really, to a lesser. We're talking lesser extent. How about Tethys v Space Tales? You want to start slinging shit at people?
I said to a lesser extent. I said what I said.
Doesn't matter. We've got that recording now.
Oh
Shame these aren't
man,
sunglasses.
all right. Okay,
Nah,
you're gonna start.
he's called me out before. I'm just throwing it back. But,
start throwing a brick through someone's window. He's gonna have to be the one that pays the damages.
But yeah, no, that would be a very interesting pair of races, actually. Maybe we could have an all stories. That'd be a pretty cool one, an all stories event. We could have SA1, SA2. Heroes doesn't. Well, Heroes does have all stories, but it's fine.
Heroes has all stories, but no one cares.
Yeah, let's have the Shadow all stories. Thank you very much. And when I say all stories, I mean all stories.
Shadow Tri-Root is actually super sick. I love Shadow Tri-Root.
What is that category? Tri-Root?
True Dark, True Hero, and True Neutral.
Oh, so you just do those three back to back?
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah, no. I was thinking 300 and how many different things is it? 386?
Full library. I've wanted to run
326.
If I ever get laid off from my job, I am going to run full library. But it's going to take me about a month and a half.
The current record is 180 hours.
It has a record. It has a run.
Yeah.
Segmented.
Yeah. Yeah. Blazing's 18 done it.
That makes sense.
So that's on the list of things I want to do. I'll get to that eventually.
That'd be something. Yeah, we can just have a marathon that's just one guy playing Shadow full life.
Oh, let's go.
That's the slice of content for the next month. You got it. But yeah, no, so same question to you, Squeefy. Do you have a dream matchup that you would love to see?
I can think of categories for runs I'd want to see, 20 emblems, mission mode, something from Shadow, because I don't think we've had Shadow yet.
I can't 20 emblems a lot lately in the past couple of days,
But I can't immediately think of who I can think of. I guess no. I guess Nixon Drag probably actually for 20 emblems could be good. Think about it, because
I can think of 20 emblems.
Mm-hmm.
But no, go ahead. Continue your thought. Go ahead.
I don't know.
Sorry, Squeefy, you're boring me.
Fair enough. I'll leave.
No, go ahead.
But yeah, I don't know. For me, I can never think of runners for I'd actually want to see go against each other. But for categories, there are so many I'd want to see. Again, Shadow, 20 emblems, mission mode for one thing would be amazing because there's so many things in that you don't typically see. So yeah, I don't know.
It would definitely be interesting. It would definitely be interesting to see. I don't know what I'm saying would be interesting because you haven't given me an answer. I'm so tired.
I'm sorry. I can't think of
I'm just yeah, that'd be a great match.
Great match. I've said no. I haven't said a single match. I've
That's a great answer, Squeefy. Anyway. Just pull two names out of a hat. First names that come to mind. Go.
I'm gonna cheat. I'm just gonna use SRC. Yeah, I guess Nixa versus Drag. Nixa versus Drag for thingy. Actually, wait.
7th place.
Hold on. Why does the internet not work on my phone? This is a sad time. Help me.
6th versus 7th, the 20 emblems would be quite awesome, personally.
6 for 7 hits. Oh wait, Labyrinth. Oh yeah, Labyrinth and whoever that other loser is. I don't know who they are.
Damn. Yeah, no, me and Lab have raced 20 emblems a ton.
Actually, yeah, you know what? Actually, that might actually not be that bad. Actually, I'm not gonna lie.
What?
That might be pretty cool.
Not even be that bad. All right, sure.
I mean, Lab will be great. You're just bringing it down.
All right.
Here we go. This is the endurance we were talking about. You weathered the early storm.
Yeah.
Now he's coming back. Well, there you go. But so some funky categories out there. 20 Emblems seems like it's just destined to happen at this point. I feel like I've heard so many people bring it up. So,
It's very cool.
Yeah, something to look into maybe as to who might take that. I wonder what belt we would put that under.
The 20 Emblems belt.
Just give it its own belt. Yeah, no, that would definitely be something to watch for sure.
Put it under the smelly belt.
The smelly belt, the
Smelly
TDSS
belt.
belt. I guess it is Tails heavy, right? If I'm not wrong.
Sonic Tails, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, no, there we go. I think that probably just about wraps us up in terms of all the main questions, but there is one last thing that we like to do here, and that is to ask each of you, is there a final message that you want to shoot to your opponent? Is there one last parting shot before we settle things on April 6th? Is there anything that you want to leave SQeefy with her?
Ooh, a final message. Not particularly. I don't think he's worth the time.
Goddamn.
I do have the power. I do have the power to kick you from the Discord now.
No!
I can remove you from the boards.
Oh, man.
But it's gonna be a good race. Good luck, SQeefy. You're gonna need it. It'll be close no matter what. I hope, and I'll be practicing, and I'll be sure to try and bring my A game for it. But if I don't, I think my C game should be good enough.
I wonder if we can get because we've got SQeefy's Sonic nose, just right on the edge of his border. Can we get a strawberry boop going on? Kind of close. Nearly. Yeah, that'll do. Yeah. Alright, anyway, no, that's done. SQeefy, anything you gotta say to the nemesis?
Yeah, GG's.
That's a throwback. That's a fun one.
Throwback.
Yeah, 3, 2, 1 GG's.
Oh god. No, this is gonna be fun. I'm here for the fun. It's gonna be great.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
it'll be sick to show off the game. If anything I fail to do, you will do, so it's okay, and vice versa.
100%. Can't wait for it at all. I feel like I should just confirm. You're both going to be playing on disc, right? I'm only just now realizing I've forgotten to ask which versions you'll be playing on.
Oh no, I was planning on running on GDEMU for the load advantage.
Oh no, I was gonna play on DX.
Ah, shit, I'm cooked. Yes, we're both playing on disc.
Yeah, on disc, yeah.
It's time for bed, is what it is. Alright,
It was time a bit 2 hours ago.
Well, thank you both for hopping on. Been a pleasure, as always. Looking forward to it on April 6th. Don't go anywhere, or go somewhere. You got a whole day before you have to be here. Go enjoy it. Yeah, thank you, gamers. We will see everybody back here sometime soon. And yeah, look forward to it. Look forward to the whole event. Dreamcast Duke Out. We got Supersonic.
All right, you got it. There you go.
You got this.
We got
Moral encouragement. You can do it.
This is Anthony versus
It's Black Doom versus Anthony
Sonic
versus
Underground. That's the race that's already happened. I got no hope going
Yep,
forward.
that race has already happened. And I could tell you who the winner is, but that would not be fun.
We got Hypnotics as the winner of that race. He will then be racing Nimputs immediately. Actually, no.
Inputs versus Hypnotics in a spit-swapping make-out Knuckles match.
Everything that everyone has ever wanted. That interview had some tension in it. No wonder they were putting Dreamcast controllers in... what? Anyway. So, and then, the main event. Wither versus SQeefy. Gonna be a real humdinger, as they say, in certain corners of squares. But yeah.
Oh.
There you go.
You just called it a square. Hang on a minute.
The squares have corners? Yeah, squares have corners. Anyway.
They do. Those are the corner ones.
that'll be us wrapped up for tonight and for the whole series of interviews here. But thank you again, gamers. If you've got anything left that you want to say before we sign off, go right ahead.
Not particularly. Dreamcast has only been started. The very first Dreamcast run was in late 2018. The very first serious Dreamcast run was in late 2019. But the community as we know it now didn't start until 2022. So all I have to say is that no matter how this race ends up, this is only the beginning of all stories.
Absolutely. And here's to many, many more Dreamcast-related endeavors to come in the future. But with that, we will wrap things up, and we will see you all back here very soon. So thank you, gamers. Good night, and take care. Goodbye.